Good morning and welcome, everybody. Felix is here to greet us bright and early, asking how our first night was on the farm and bringing us a present. Well, that's very nice of you. Thank you. Nothing like a good old hoe to get the spirits up. So Felix is gonna just jump right into carrying on with our tutorial here. Now we're gonna learn how to equip tools. Press the R button to see all of our items that we currently have that we're able to equip. And then we equip it using the A button. So yes, very, very simple and straightforward. You can see that this menu pops up for us, and the only thing that we have currently is the hoe. Great, you were able to equip it. And then we're going to use it with the B button. And we're going to go ahead and just let Felix give us the crop tutorial. It's fairly straightforward, but I think he'll do a better job than I will. So he's going to go ahead and teach us. So we need to use our hoe to till the land, as we do in every single Harvest Moon game ever. If you've played one, you've played them all in that regard. And then he's going to give us some turnip seeds to start things out. And as of right now, it's actually the only thing that we can grow. And we are also going to be equipping those. And keep in mind that one bag is equal to one square. It's not like some other games where one bag will give you a 3x3 square. It's individual. So he's going to give us our watering can, and then we can fill it up with our nice little well that we have over there. Same thing. Equip it, use it with the B button, just like all the other tools, and you're done. The 3 steps. Hoe, sow, and water. Water your crops once a day, and if it's raining, you don't need to water them. Well, thank you for that. If you water them every day, they'll sprout into leaves. But if you forget, your crops will dry out. I actually kind of like this little visual. It's kind of a horrible reminder, but it's a reminder nonetheless. If you continue to neglect your crops, they'll die. And at that point, we would use the sickle to get rid of them. When watered properly, a turnip will grow like this, and then we can harvest it. And we will also be doing that using the B button. It's best to water your crops early in the morning. That way, by the evening, your crops will be dry, and we can water them once again. So crops can be watered twice a day, assuming that you give yourself the time to do that. It will allow your crops to grow faster, and I would say it's about 10-ish hours in between the watering that you can do. Once your crops start growing, don't walk or run over them. Stepping on your crops will damage them, lowering their quality. And this is where walking versus running comes in. I would recommend that you always switch to walking when you're doing crop care, so you don't accidentally step on them. And the quality of our items will be shown with the amount of yellow stars that they have. I went over that briefly in our first tutorial video. But we can improve the quality of crops by using fertilizer. So same thing. They are a tool, so we can get to them in the menu and then equip them. Fertilizer only needs to be done once a day. So you can do that either in the morning or in the evening, depending on what you want to get accomplished in the day or how much stamina you have. So he's kind of gone over all that we need to know for crops. Trees are going to be different, and we'll get into that further on down the road. And then of course we need to keep an eye on how much stamina that we have left. So there are a couple of different ways that you can recover your stamina. You can eat food, and we can also use our bathroom, our bathtub, and we can use the vase in our farm, which are things that I also mentioned briefly last time. Even early on in the game, we are able to recover a pretty substantial amount of stamina, which is going to help us. You absolutely do not want to pass out because you'll be brought back to your house and it will ruin your entire day. Alright, so Felix is pretty much done with his tutorial, and he's going to let us loose at this point. Well, thank you, my good man. That tutorial actually took a little bit longer than I thought. I was hoping we'd have a little bit more time to go and meet villagers today, but we'll just focus on doing a couple more tutorial type things. We'll first plant all of our crops. You can see that I am in walking mode, and you can walk over your crops no problem if you're going slowly. And as I plant these turnips, if I move my control stick in the direction that I want to go, your character will sort of just slide to the next square, and it makes it really, really easy to just move yourself around. So with all of those planted, we will go ahead and make sure to also put some fertilizer on this. You only have to fertilize things once a day. So we should be able to come back and water these around 4 or 5 o'clock, but the fertilizer is fine once it's on, just a once a day thing. Before I move on, I'll just take a quick gander around the farm, and I'm going to pick up anything that I can off the ground. Flowers, branches, rocks, weeds, and we're also going to do some bug catching, and that's going to be a really easy way for us to get some money early on in the game. We've got about $1,000 on us right now. And in the top right corner of our bottom screen, you can see that there are 6 squares, and that is basically the entire length of the game's map. So you can see that our farm is the top square, and then as we move around, it'll show us where we are. And realistically, we only really have 4 squares to work with. 1 square is the Bazaar, and the square that's to the bottom left is actually blocked off currently. So on this first screen, go ahead and pick up some flowers. Lots of bugs, lots of butterflies that we can also catch. You'll want to pick up anything that you find on the ground first thing, because they actually do disappear even if you don't pick them up. If you pass by a flower or anything on the ground, it will disappear in about 6 hours in game time. So you want to be absolutely certain that you're picking up everything that you want to keep in your inventory. If we go to the left, there's this nice little log cabin, which belongs to this character here. I haven't seen you before. Can I help you? Oh, you must be the new person that I heard about. Me, I'm Lloyd. Good to meet you. Lloyd is a marriage candidate if you were playing as a girl farmer. And he's actually who I picked to be my husband when I played on my own. And then we have this character walking by that we'll also say hello to. Yet another bachelor if you're playing as a female character. I'm Angelo. It's really nice to meet you. So we'll just sort of talk to the villagers that are walking by as we see them. And I'll go over in a little bit more detail about where they live and maybe where to find them and whatnot. So on this screen we have Lloyd's house. We also have a dock that we can use for fishing later on. There's this really nice waterfall with a kind of secret shrine behind it, but we're not able to actually do anything here for a very significant period of time, so we can ignore that. You can use this area just to get from one side of the water to the other if you want. And then finally we have a windmill on this screen, but we can't use this windmill yet. And then just to show you that there really is nothing over here on this left screen, you can see it's all bricked up at the moment. So there's a few things to note on this screen. Oh, there's also another character walking by. Let's say hello to her. Who are you? What do you want? Oh, I see. You must be that newcomer. I'm Antoinette. Nice to meet you. You can see that she has a heart beside her name. So this is the first of our marriage candidates that we're meeting. She's basically a female gray. She'll pretend that she's all big and tough and aloof, but she warms up to us eventually. Before I go any further, I'll sort of talk a little bit about catching bugs. So you can see there are bugs floating around everywhere. We'll find butterflies flying, and you'll find some other things like locusts and grasshoppers on the ground. So for butterflies, you just need to jump and be above where they're flying, and then press B to reach your hands out and grab them. It's very, very straightforward. These blue butterflies, you can see that they are a lot more difficult to catch. They're sort of more skittish, if that's possible, for a butterfly to be. And so you wouldn't want to be running in their presence because it would scare them away. Oh, hello. We'll say hi to this character over here as well. Oh, hello. It's Nick, right? I heard about you from my father, Felix. I'm Sherry. It's nice to meet you. So this is the mayor's daughter, another lady that we are able to potentially marry. And because this is such a small village, you won't have a difficult time finding anybody. It's very easy just to run into people. So I'm going to move on to the next screen. You can see that there's more butterflies for us to catch here. And bugs will kind of replenish seamlessly, endlessly. You can just catch bugs all day long. There doesn't seem to be any kind of limit to the bugs whatsoever. So if I go back to the screen that we were just on and I look around, I should be able to find more bugs around and catch them. And I kind of just try and catch a few bugs that are in my immediate path as I travel back and forth. I don't usually go out of my way to catch them. but they are a fantastic way just to make some money as we're starting out. Now this middle screen that we're on, this is where the majority of all the shops are, and also where a lot of our villagers live. So we'll say hi to these two little girls since they're close to us here. Who are you? Well, I guess you seem okay. I'm Cindy. I'm Lauren's twin. I'm older than her by 2 minutes. So these two are obviously twins. Cindy is the more assertive one, and Lauren is her quiet, apparently younger sister. So there are some children in this village. Not a lot, but there's a couple. This store here on our immediate right as we cross the bridge is probably the most important. This is Raul's shop, and he's open basically all day, every day except for Fridays and Bazaar days. And Raul is gonna be very important because he is where we can sell items outside of the bazaar, which only happens once a week. Oh, a customer! You're Nick, I'm Raul. Come to my shop for all your farming needs. I decorated it to look like an old-fashioned shop from my home country. I even dressed the part. You don't think I went overboard, do you? Whatever makes you happy, man. So you can see here that he has some more turnip seeds, he's got some fertilizer, and we have the option to sell items. Now you do have to be careful when you sell items because what Raul is going to give you is going to be significantly less than what you're going to be able to earn as you go to the bazaar and sell things. Not all items are hugely discounted when you sell it to him, and as we're starting out, almost everything is fair game. You're gonna want to sell most of what you're foraging. Save your flowers, do not sell them because we're going to be using them for an upcoming festival and we're gonna want as many as we can possibly get. But feel free to sell weeds, to sell rocks, to sell branches, and then this is where our bug catching comes in. We are basically catching as many bugs as we can in order to pad our income a little bit so that we can buy more turnip seeds, so that we can grow more turnips, so that we can get more stuff to sell to make money at the bazaar. He also will sell fertilizer, which I recommend always having on hand. Buy as much as you can and use it. You're going to want to use it every single day, and it is only $10. At this point in time, we don't have the means to make our own fertilizer, and until we do, I definitely just recommend buying it from Raul. So let's do a little bit of buying and selling to close out this video here, seeing as how it ended up eating up a lot more time with more tutorial stuff than I thought. So I'm just gonna quickly scroll through dialogue here. Just mash the A button, hold down the B button to scroll through. We're gonna sell everything. I'm gonna keep the herbs as well because I can get more money for those at the bazaar. But we're basically gonna sell all of our bugs and everything else that we've picked up. I know this is kind of scary to think of just selling everything. You know, most of the time you want to stockpile rocks and branches and things like that. And there will be a time and a place to be using those things, but we don't have a hammer and we don't have an axe. So we're going to go ahead and buy ourselves some more turnip seeds. We're going to buy 6 more. And then we're also going to buy some more fertilizer. So I think I need 12, right? I think I have 12 turnips if I plant these. That leaves us with a couple $100 in cash. And we should be able to make more money as we go through and catch some more bugs. Just before this video closes out, I will show off kind of the last shop that's in this area, and this is the cafe, which again has some very, very long business hours. You will find some of the people who work late here later on in the evening. And this is where you would buy food. So if you buy food from the cafe, you will get the food item, which you can then eat or give as a gift or whatever it is that you want to do with it. But you'll also get the recipe for it. So this is a good way to learn some recipes if you don't feel like experimenting with cooking yourself. And with shop owners like Raul and this lady here, you have to actually go behind the counter to speak with them. You must be the new person in town. My name is Joan. Come visit my cafe for a relaxing cup of tea. And you do need to sort of talk to villagers every day or every other day, because if you go long periods of time without talking to them, their friendship will decrease. And then this young lady helping her behind the counter here, her name is Marion. I am very peeved that she's not a marriage candidate because I just really like her. I like her personality. I think she's gorgeous. But she actually gets a lot of pressure from Joan to date, and you'll find out by talking with her that she kind of wants Joan off her back, you know, she wants to be left alone. So I guess it makes sense that she's not a marriage candidate, but it's very disappointing. Alright, since you're here, I'll talk to you. Oh, are you Nick? I heard about you. I'm Dirk. Nice to meet ya. And Dirk is yet another character that you can marry as a female character. He lives with his brother, who we will meet later. There is just so much going on. There are so many people. There are so many things going on. I'm just going to go into my bag here so that the clock stops, because I think this is a pretty good place for me to call it. I need to just take a break here and figure out what else we need to cover. We're only about halfway through the town at this point. We still have lots and lots of introductions to make. So I think I will just stop myself right here in this very spot. And we will carry on from here, hopefully make some more introductions, and then finish out our day by going back to the farm and doing some more planting. Thank you all so very much for watching, and I hope that I will see you next time.